infuse love into, I think that would be the point of it.
Could you just say it again for us, Allison?
I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you.
I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
Called the Ho'oponopono prayer.
Would anyone else like to say it?
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you.
Thank you, Sindrell. Good morning.
Good morning. Morning, Sindrell.
Good morning, Sindrell.
Good
I'm so
morning.
sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chi. Good morning.
Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Heinz.
I know this prayer. Mm-hmm. Allison, thank you for bringing it to the vibrancy for today. I even have it on my dresser. Sometimes you can have things right in front of you and forget the impact that it has for you. Mm. I remember a little bit about the story of the impact of the prayer that there was a man who used this prayer and he went into like a VA hospital where people were just really being housed in their own sickness. And he ended up having all of these cases for all of these people. And he would walk around saying that prayer internally. He would work on the files to get to know the patients, and he would say that prayer over the files as he got familiar with their various cases. And he just embodied the prayer as a continuous presence. And patients started getting better, responding, reducing medications, and actually being released from the hospital because they were indeed better. And this prayer works hand in hand for me with the knowledge of when you speak over water and let it freeze and how it changes into crystals. Or if you put that same water in a hideous environment of degradation, how differently they form. And with us being composed of more water mass than anything else, those words, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, permeating from the heart creates such a beautiful presence of vibration that doesn't ask for anything in return, but creates from source intentionally. And the population, I'm not exactly sure, but the population of that hospital went down. I don't know if they actually ended up closing, but it went down significantly. And people could actually come there for healing instead of being stored in their own degradation. And I used that when I learned about it. I used it with someone who had hurt me deeply, 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 deeper than I even knew that I was. And that prayer gave me it raised my low to a new low. It didn't bring me like instantly up, but my head was above water with that prayer. And I kept using it on myself. And then I said it to the person who had offended me so much. And they were like, I didn't really want to forgive them, like without that prayer. But with that prayer, I was able to come above the whole situation. And they were astounded that I could forgive them. It was true. The forgiveness was true. Because if someone can hurt you that much, how much must they be hurting to do that to someone else? And I found forgiveness for them. And I gave it to them. And they were like blown away. And it gave them the opportunity to release and to acknowledge and release their pattern of being. It's like letting a slave free from the shackles on their ankles. And in that way, love can just be. Thank you for that, Allison. I needed that. I appreciate that this morning.
You're so welcome. I also forget to use it, Cinderella. And then because I was taught it to use it for what my body was being exposed to, to help fortify it. And it comes up every now and then. I remember about it for all different kinds of situations. And very recently, I have a best friend of mine that has done so much, not just for me, but for other people. And she's in a very difficult kind of phase of development, I would put it like that, in her life at the moment. And I know that she's got to make another breakthrough in her own spiritual power. And she's been very isolated. And I wanted to stand in my power as much as I could to be of some facilitation for her journey. And I kept on waking up at night thinking about her and just sending whatever I could in terms of love and gratitude. And then I remembered about this 2 nights ago. So I'm doing a little practice with that for her specifically at the moment. And then I thought this would be a nice thing to bring into the group.
I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, everyone.
Did I leave anything out?
No, it's just those 4 lines.
Thank you. when we've said that prayer, we've practiced that prayer, and we've brought in to be in joy.
Mm.
What connection to that? Thank you. As in the silence, I was replaying the last moments I've had with the last moments when I was with the one I love. It was not in joy. But I was still there, replaying it, remembering it. For whatever reason, it was the something out of the nothing and out of the everything. So I can just wrap it in joy. I can find a reason for it to be in joy. A co-creation. We both created it. Making space for authentic compassion.
Mm.
Making space to connect, to co-create authentic compassion so that we may be in joy. Together, I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
What I heard partly in what you were doing with it, Jesse, was, to use Hans's word of purpose, you were repurposing that moment. And you gave it the place of being a stepping stone to authentic compassion. And in our language, that would be the wiggle. Holding the potential for an eventual giggle. And in that, we hold space. And by holding that kind of space, we change the void that we feel often in the hurt.
I'm imagining a picture representing a life. It's a vast ground of concrete with cracks of strife. And when that prayer goes out, it seeps through the cracks and it softens the hardening that even concrete covered with wax. I'm so sorry as that sentiment flows. It goes into the cracks and it seeps into the woes. Please forgive me. Echoes from the universe and sound. Please forgive me. Let the call for forgiveness go and be found. I love you as the balm of Gilead brings grace to erase the pain and renew the taste. Thank you, bellows the universe, for you still being a sustaining of life. Thank you for not giving up, even though you thought of it more than twice. I'm so sorry. As compassionate gleams, it doesn't even matter who it comes from, but it does matter that it means. The cement softens and comes beyond the surface of the wax to say, I love you back. And it doesn't have to be a verified fact. To be asked for forgiveness and give it back to, it breeds a whole new life and an attitude to. To be told that you're loved without roots of questions or doubt, and to require nothing more of it, just the sweetness of it shouted out. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so, so sorry. The compassionate breeds. Oh, look, out of the crack comes up a fondling seed. And the sunshine can shine and the seedling grow. There's so much more love beneath the cement to know. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Thank you for forgiveness and tolerance, grace. Know that I love you. I want to live this marvelous race. The sun can be felt as I face it and the shadow glows. That where there's all cement, the cracks and widening grow. And look, here comes the rain. It used to be all my tears. And now it wets the cement beyond the years. The seedlings grow and grass and weeds too. I just love seeing the greenery and the blessings of all of you. I love you. I'm so sorry everything that has happened that caused you to cement and close. But thank you for the cracks to allow my love to flow. Beautiful souls, you came here in love. And from this place we grow, from love and above. Remember, I love you.
Listen, Joel, what came to me with that, thank you so much for it, was there was clarity for me in a way that I had not experienced before about being between a rock and a hard place. And it's the gap. And there's always opportunity in the gap. And the opportunities are to drop deeper, and to plant seeds.
Wow, I received that. Thank you.
You're welcome. The other thing that came to me while you were talking was, as I've said to you before, I really, really would love to have these spontaneous words of yours in an anthology. But what it is that you do is you take good ingredients and it's like you bake something with it, and this absolutely delicious, nourishing product gets produced, whether it's a bread or a cake. Those are the two that kind of come to mind for me mostly. But you, in the process with working with the ingredients, I imagine you needing, and that's with a K-N, right? Not with an N. And that's what it feels like for me, what you did with this prayer. You enhanced it so much.
I I express what I feel from what I get here. I I only know myself at the core as love. If I were Mother Nature, this whole world would be covered with beauty and flowers and rainbows and unicorns. And every heart would be full of glee and the internal greatness and expression would just continuously bring forth bountifulness and complementary all to one another in the universe. And yet, I must be honest, I long for that one that's complementary to me, to love, to give love to. That would not limit me in any capacity to continue to be the and more that I am yet to be.
Mm. Mm. I guess that's the definition of a good marriage, right? When people feel
Yes. One of those unique anomalies, right? What's that?
well,
Yeah, I'll be like, come on. And sometimes I think I said, well, I mean, has it not happened? I hear Jesse's voice in my head saying something. I don't know what he's going to come out with. I um has it not happened yet? Because I don't know how to receive it in yet. Am I learning more of myself? So when I receive this love, I help it be what it is to be for me. So it doesn't consume me and take me off of my higher order trajectory of life. So I'm being patient and impatient simultaneously. I feel like when I have that like key, I have that key, the only one that can go click. I used to call it and still do call it the Excalibur effect. The one who can pull that sword out, you know? And until then, I'm not to give or be or have that essential whatness of that kind of union with anyone else. Like, don't throw your pearls among the swine. And I'm like Sarah of the Bible, but I'm like, hey, I'm kind of like 65 and things that used to be up or being gravitized down, can let's not let all this go to waste. And where is that mate of mine? Where, when? And sometimes I meet people with little like elements of it, and it piques my interest. I go like, are you my lover? Are you my lover? Are you my lover? Like the little chick in the storybook would say, are you my mother? Are you my mother? Are you my mother? Where is my lover? And that story had a final page in it, and the chick found its mother. But as I turn pages, new pages are yet to be turned, and I haven't met that one. So I'm asking the universe, hey, what's up with that? Let's have that. Let's have that.
have you told the universe you're ready for it?
Say that again, please.
Have you told the universe that you are ready for it?
Yes. Open arms. Yes.
Good.
Yes. Yes.
That'll come.
Yes. I believe it will.
Maybe
So
it's a different relational dynamic than you expect.
yeah, I'm trying
That
to
can
like
also
not
be true, Craig.
expect. I'm trying not to have a framework of expectation because it's going to be something that I've never experienced, but I do
Imagine.
think I'll know it.
Yes.
Allison.
Yes.
Yeah, like something you never even considered.
Yeah, that too. That's
You know,
kind of
totally
scary.
new. Totally new.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just got to look like someone's able to come up and pull that sword out of the stone, though.
Mm.
Let me ask, would a lover be something you create?
Mm.
Yeah, there's a true choice to work on.
And we
Okay.
can think of it comes from us, like the enjoy, right? Enjoy, it comes through from us and out.
Mm-hmm.
Love and lover is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we give our power to it out there, and out there is when they give it to us. Oof.
Yeah.
Maybe your dream lover is yourself.
Through that.
And then a reflection of that dynamic shows up.
You know how
As
you
you
often hear that. Sorry. Go, Jess.
As I heard you say it, I saw a force field coming down, a field around you, like a shield around you, a bubble, a protective bubble came down as you talked about Excalibur.
Mm.
Or whatever that metaphor is worth.
And reading to that more, I don't want to miss what that force field, that bubble is. What is
It's your
that?
concrete, it's your protective layer. It is like it was what I saw. Right? I saw it around you, and it was like this Excalibur moment. What does it need? What is it? It's like, oh, to me, the sense of it, me putting words to my vision of it, was lowering the shield, lowering the defenses, lowering the protective wall, and say, yes, here, this I'm creating love. I'm creating my lover. I'm creating the experience of it and rather than waiting for the prince to come pull the sword out of the stone, rather than that, it's I am creating the lover.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I am creating the relationship. I am creating the love. Because love is in the ups and the downs. Yet we just want to think it's in the ups.
Mm.
Yes. There are simultaneous energies. Continue, please. You have more, Jesse?
More love is grown in the downs. It's expanded, amplified, improved in the troubles, the trials, the tribulations. It's the tension of the learning, of the growth, of the expansion. Too often, because of our expectations, our thinking of it, our conditioning of love, that's when we give up. That's when we let it go. And there's so much to be learned through it. Because love exists everywhere.
It's the
It's
essence of
just,
what we are.
it's just if we can find it. Find, or can we create it? Can we bring it out? Can we
Can we
shape
allow
it,
it?
mold it, allow it, build it, grow it, move it, flow it? And can we get hurt along the way? Because that's just the other side of love.
Mm-hmm. You know, when you hear that expression sometimes when people say that they love their partners because their partners make them want to be a better person. And what came to me this morning with Sandrell Singh was, for me, it would be that somebody allows me to be more of what I am and facilitates a space for that. That, for me, is being a better person. More of what I am. The truth of what we all are. The uniqueness. And I think that's what my teacher's saying about that we are the essence of beauty. I think that is what that means.
and being beauty in all of it. You know, they call the last week of Jesus' life, they call that the Passion of Christ. And a huge part of seeing the passion of it is recognizing its beauty. There's a whole spectrum of emotion in that. When he comes into Jerusalem riding on a colt. And they're shouting Hosanna and laying palm branches in his path. And a week later, he's hanging on a cross. And saying, God forgive them, for they know not what they do. And also says, it is finished. There's beauty in the whole spectrum, in that whole experience. It's like no part was left out. Nothing but beauty. And there was a rebirth and a resurrected life at the end of that. An abundance of joy.
I am so sorry.
Mhm.
For hurting, for fighting, for my anger towards those that I love. For the pain, for the suffering, for the heartache that I have caused, the disappointment, the betrayal, and the sadness. That this disease, this illness. Please forgive me. Please support me. Forgive me so I may change. We may change. And we may create new relationships, new love, new joy, co-creating new connections. Authentic compassion. Who we are as we are and who we are becoming. I love you. And thank you for your love. Hmm. What do we learn about when we step? What do we learn by stepping on a nail? Not to step on a nail. Does that keep it from ever happening? No. No, it doesn't happen very often. Unless you're a kid that plays around barns and wood that has nails in it. But most adults don't do that. But we do love. And sometimes when we love with others, we step on nails. A nail that those that love, we laid it around, left it out.
Jesse, I was going to say we also learn how to heal it.
Hmm.
We learn that
We
we've got
do.
to disinfect it. Yeah. And give it rest.
Which is loving it.
That's right.
We also learn where nails have the propensity of being. So we're aware. Be aware of nails.
Yeah.
In pain. How to deal with it.
Mm. Mm.
You might also learn not to walk so heavy in certain environments.
Mhm.
Yes.
Pay more attention, be more careful when we move through them.
Yeah.
Not in such a rush.
Yes.
Busy. Occupied somewhere else. But it won't keep you from stepping on a nail.
No.
A little kickoff from that. When I was a teacher, I would tell my students, when you come into the room, come in quietly and be aware of your surroundings that you're coming into. Because we could be taking a test or someone could be speaking or whatever. But many of the students had a habit of coming into the room like all loud, like all their rowdiness that they brought from the playground or they brought from the hallway or a conversation they were having with somebody else out in the hall. They just bring all of that into the room. And so I taught them to be aware, or tried to teach them to be aware of what they're walking into. You're all about you, but everything is not all about you. So when you go into a barn, be aware that you may not be accustomed to that hay, or if in that barnyard there's been some construction going on or some nails out, you have to, it's good to respect what you're walking into. And it's a way of respecting yourself as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently had a refreshed lesson on that. I'm used to pretty much walking and going and being by myself. And I was with a gentleman, and he said, if you will allow me, let me break the room. I was like, I don't know what that is. Explain that to me. He says, I'll open the door for you. You step inside, step a little to the left or to the right, and let me come in and step in front of you so I can surmise the whole room and still have had that opportunity to open the door for you. I was like, that's different. Okay.
Mhm.
He said, you never know what's happening and I can protect you better. I was like, okay, that works. So I got my own lesson of coming into a room.
Those small moments of entering and leaving, and how much value they can have.
It's also like explicitly being taught something too. It's like, oh, all right.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to forget that all we're dealing with anywhere is energy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So simple.
Yeah. So you have a brand new awareness of that, Cinderella. And he's just making it, he's just bringing it to your attention.
Yeah, it's cool.
And it also brings to mind for me how we receive people coming in and how we greet them going out.
Say more of that. I feel like there's like I could think I know what you're implying, but say more of that if you can.
I think for me, it's about, as you and Craig, for me, both spoke to, was the beginning and the ending of an interaction, of a resonance. And how just in those very small moments you can grease the wheels, as it were. So when you enter into a room, as you taught your students, you're being respectful of what there is. To bring that respect. And it gives you the pause to be able to, as your gentleman friend said, read the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're in the room and somebody comes in, how are you receiving them?
Mm-hmm.
And when they leave, how do you let them leave if you're the host? And even if you're not the host? And those are they're beginnings and endings of something. And just those small little experiences are often so impactful. I can remember leaving a party. It was during this year, and I didn't know everybody there, but the host of the party, I knew, people that they were very close to. And as we left, I went to say goodbye to them, and I gave the mom a big hug. I knew what they'd had very difficult experiences with their daughter, over the last 2 years. And I hugged her, and as I hugged her, I said to her, I so love you for what you've been able to do and go through. And when we finished hugging, and I looked at her, and she was in tears. And I said to her, I'm so sorry, why are you crying? And she said, you told me that you loved me. And it was obviously for her at that moment really important. And I had no idea of how important that would be. So I think that's what came to mind for me. When I left there, I thought, again, when we pay attention, and in our paying attention, when we communicate spontaneously what we are in that moment, how much it can do for somebody, such a small thing.
I felt that compassion in that hug. And it's like that prayer. It's like the prayer. It's the little statements, but we almost like really don't have to say anything after the statement. We can, but when we do, we're expressing ourselves, whether it be from an egoic stance or from a need to express ourselves. But I'm thinking that when we don't add anything to it, and there's a time and place to have those extended expressions off of the statements of I love you, please forgive me, I'm so sorry. What's the last one?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's like the ellipse of those statements, the continuity of anything beyond those, when we say it without adding anything to it, it becomes what the receiver can receive at that time. It becomes the love that they can that they need to feel or are open to feel at that time. It doesn't become what we're putting into them, because they may not be able to receive our reasoning or the because. They may, but their perspective may not be there, or our perspective may miss an area where that soothing "I love you" could just morph into being what it needs to be for the person to receive it.
Mm.
So it's like, "I love you," because then it becomes limited. It becomes what I need to love you for. There's a time and place for that, but these statements of grace, they just become whatever the person is able, wants, needs, longs for to receive. I love you. When I say that, so take it, I hope you all take it personally, because I take it from you each time I hear it. So take "I love you." I love you. That can land and breathe. Thank you. Because when I say thank you, I can't tell you really in words all that I could thank you for being in my life, for imparting in my life, for hearing me, seeing me, listening to me. I can go on and on and on and on and on. But if I say thank you, it allows for the kinetic energies to be kinetic without limitation and definition. Whew. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. We're taught, "I'm sorry." Well, what are you sorry for? Yeah, there's a time and place to tell what you're sorry for, because you do need to recognize, right? And if the question is asked, then there's more opening to answer in that space. But it doesn't become about me. It becomes about who I am giving this to. To a total stranger, for anybody, somebody, just to say, "I'm so sorry." Without even knowing a person, it can go and soothe in places that just needed breath of healing. Please forgive me. For someone, anyone to say that to me, it just allows my heart to inhale and exhale. And even just for that moment, if the defenses can just like not be there, not question, but just to receive the acknowledgement, to forgive. And in that breath, there's forgiveness. So in these conversations, I've recognized that I can give why I love you, what I'm thanking you for, what I'm sorry for, what I want forgiveness for. But that's my egoic expression to do that. And there's a time and a place for that, yes. But just to say those things, say those compassionately from the heart with a full heart, And even with full vulnerability, expecting nothing in return, but receiving whatever comes of it and respecting it, that's me really, really showing love and really being thankful and really being humble and really being open in my vulnerability without any strings attached. Let me put you first. I love you. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you so very, very much. And how about us saying that for ourselves, to ourselves?
take that prayer with you today. Spread it for yourself and to those you choose.
Thank you
be
for this.
Be
Sorry, Tim.
authentically passionate. Authentic compassion, co-creation of enjoy. Thanks, Alice.
Thank you for this amplified experience of love this morning.
Yes.
Thanks for a great day.
Love you all.
Love and hugs.
Bye.
Love
Bye.
you all.
Love and hugs, everybody.